This is the last time you need to hear this. Picture yourself standing at the peak of a mountain, gazing down at the beautiful valley below. The sun is setting, bathing the scenery in a warm and golden light. You feel a sense of accomplishment and pride, knowing that you've climbed all the way to the top. Now imagine feeling the same sense of accomplishment and pride, but in your journey to lose fat and get healthy. It might seem like an impossible climb, but trust me, it's not. There's a way to reach the top, and it's called a calorie deficit. In this video, we'll talk about what it is, how to create one, and why it's the only way to lose fat and keep it off for good. So come with me on this journey, and let's make the climb together. What is a calorie deficit? Are you ready for a crash course in calorie science? Good, because it's time to talk about calorie deficits. First things first, let's define what a calorie deficit is. When you burn more calories than you consume, you're in a calorie deficit. This might sound simple, but it's actually the key to successful fat loss. Here's an example. Let's say that your body needs 2,000 calories per day to function properly. Your basal metabolic rate, or BMR, is a measure of the number of calories your body needs to function properly. If you consume 2,000 calories in a day, you are in a state of energy balance, meaning that you are neither losing nor gaining weight. On the other hand, if you consume fewer calories than your BMR, you are in a calorie deficit. For example, if you burn 2,000 calories per day and only consume 1,500, you have a calorie deficit of 500 calories. This means that your body needs to turn to stored energy or fat for fuel. Over time, this can lead to fat loss. You might be wondering, how can I determine how many calories I need to function properly? There are online calculators and formulas that can provide a rough estimate of your BMR, but it is also advisable to consult with your healthcare professional or a registered dietitian to get a more accurate assessment. You don't want to be like the guy who tried to calculate his BMR using only a calculator and a cardboard cutout of Jennifer Lawrence. Trust me, it didn't end well. It's important to note that everyone's BMR is different, and that it can be affected by factors like age, gender, weight, and activity level. So don't get too hung up on the numbers. The key is to find a balance that works for you and your body. How to create a calorie deficit. Now that we know what a calorie deficit is and why it's important, it's time to talk about how to create one. There are two main ways to do this: eat fewer calories or burn more calories through exercise. Option 1, eat fewer calories. This might seem like the obvious choice, but it's important to remember that cutting calories too drastically can have a negative effect on your body and its overall health. It's better to make gradual, sustainable changes to your diet, rather than going cold turkey and depriving yourself of the nutrients your body needs. Here are a few tips for cutting calories without feeling hungry or deprived. Eat more fiber. Foods high in fiber, like vegetables, fruit, and whole grains, can help you feel fuller on fewer calories. Don't skip meals. Skipping meals can lead to overeating later on, so it's important to eat regularly. Option 2, burn more calories through exercise. In addition to cutting calories, increasing your activity level can help you create a calorie deficit and lose fat. This can be as simple as going for a walk or a jog, or joining a gym and lifting weights. The key is to find a form of exercise that you enjoy and that you can stick with long term. It's important to note that exercise alone is not enough to create a calorie deficit. You also need to pay attention to your diet and make sure that you are consuming fewer calories than you are burning. That being said, exercise does have a number of other benefits, including improving cardiovascular health, strengthening bones and muscles, and reducing stress. Tip: it's important to find a balance that works for you and is sustainable in the long term. This might mean cutting back on calories slightly and increasing your exercise, or vice versa. Try different approaches and see what works best for your body and your lifestyle. Why a calorie deficit is the key to fat loss. Now that we've talked about what a calorie deficit is and how to create one, let's dive into why it's the key to fat loss. Scientific explanation. When you have a calorie deficit, your body has to turn to stored fat for energy. It's like when you're running low on gas in your car and you have to stop at a gas station to fill up. Except in this case, your body is the car and the fat is the gas. And instead of filling up the gas tank, your body is breaking down the fat cells and using the stored energy inside them to keep you going. It's like a never-ending cycle of fat-burning goodness. Over time, this can lead to fat loss. Just don't expect your body to start spouting off a bunch of flames like tricked-out muscle car. That would be pretty cool, but it's not quite how it works. Myth busting. Many people believe that certain foods or types of exercise are the key to fat loss, But the truth is that a calorie deficit is the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter if you're eating low carb, low fat, or high protein. If you're not in a calorie deficit, you won't lose fat. On the other hand, if you are in a calorie deficit, you can lose fat no matter what types of food you eat. This is because the type of food you eat only affect your calorie intake, not the way your body uses stored energy. That being said, it's still important to make sure that you are getting a balanced diet and getting all the nutrients your body needs. Fad diets and extreme calorie restrictions can lead to nutrient deficiencies and other health problems. In conclusion, a calorie deficit is the only way to lose fat. It's not about working harder or cutting out certain types of food. It's about finding a balance between the calories you consume and the calories you burn. So if you're looking to lose fat, start by tracking your calorie intake and output. Use a food diary or an app to help you keep track of what you're eating and how much you're exercising. From there, make adjustments as needed to create a calorie deficit. Remember, sustainable fat loss takes time and effort, but it's worth it for a healthier, happier you. Don't get caught up in fad diets or exercise programs that promise quick results. Focus on creating a calorie deficit and you'll see real, lasting progress. Thanks for joining us on another amazing episode of Big Fitness. Remember to always hit those gains hard and never skip leg day. And as always, may the protein be with you. Don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a workout. Until next time, stay jacked and stay fabulous.